So Infor CPQ specifically helps streamline processes across those different buyers and sellers in three main areas. One is around that digital engagement. How do we generate that lead and make that an opportunity? How can we then support that research to quote and order process? Maybe we need to provide, better ways to help a company or a user spec in a product, and then making sure that all this information that's already been done, we don't have to redo it, rekey it, retype it, put it in a new system. We want to be able to take all that information and flow that through into an order in your backend system, which then can be fulfilled and manufactured. The nice part about the Infor solution is that you can choose where to start. So that's often a question that we get and our consultants get, which is where should we start? And it really is, where's your biggest area of value or the biggest opportunity, or where you're potentially losing market share, or you're not converting sales like you used to. So if what's happening is you're saying, we just don't generate enough leads from our public website or from our dealer distributor network. Well, maybe what you're doing in here then is you're focusing on prospect management and you're focusing on generating those leads, right? What are those campaigns that we have? How is it that we can convert folks that touch our website into real leads and then start working them as an opportunity? So Infor CPQ has the ability to launch right out of a CRM. Multiple CRM solutions with standard supported integration. So you can start there. Or you could say, well, my dealers, my distributors, my sellers, even internal sellers, they're just not as effective as they could be. They spend a lot of time creating multiple versions and accurate estimates. They spend a lot of time with, with other types of technology that might not be integrated. It might not be automated. It might be departmentally siloed. Estimating uses this particular Excel spreadsheet, and quoting over here uses this little estimating tool that somebody's developed. And then down here, when I'm in manufacturing and I've got to decide, are we going to manufacture this product, there's a whole nother set of tools that are used to try to get that order in there. So what we can do is we can help streamline that process and make sure that everybody's singing off of the same sheet of music, making sure that it's very, very easy with the shortest and fewest amount of clicks to be able to create complete and accurate estimates, being able to manage those versions. There are sometimes customers that have to go through 30 versions. And in many cases, those types of versions take a day or two. So imagine if you have 30 version revisions, even if you were doing a new one every day. But if it took you 2 days, you would be adding 60 days to your selling process. So what does that do when you're able to generate a new version in a matter of minutes? You can copy quotes, copy lines of quotes, do mass change and rapid entry, all types of things that are really around pricing and quoting software to help it make it easier for that user. You can have user-based pricing. So the system will know who you are right away when you log in. You don't have to try to apply all of those user profile pieces of information behind the scenes. However, maybe what happens is right now you have a pretty streamlined quoting or even an ordering process. However, once you get it into your system, maybe you have to create 2D CAD drawings or 3D model assemblies to go with that. And so you have all of these engineers spending all this time building those on an order by order basis. You can either take that drawing and model assembly generation process and pull it out at the end and put it into your quoting and estimating process, bring more value, have more validation that exactly what the user wants is correct, or you can have it still down here. But either way, maybe this is where the biggest pain is for you. You have a lot of, manual entry and duplication of activities, right? And you can't get it into manufacturing fast enough because there's all this work that you have to do to translate that quote into how it is you're going to make the product. And then certainly with this, we can push all of that information down. And what if somebody has a change order? Okay, I've ordered this particular type of forklift with this particular type of wheel kit or wheel assembly. And even if the the forklift is being manufactured, the wheel kits go on at the end. So how is it that we can go in and we can make that change into the system when it's a configured order and I want to just swap out a particular wheel kit? So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and you don't have to have a truly configured product. Right? Oftentimes companies will select to a particular SKU and they'll guide users to that right selection. So using the pump example again, how can we make sure that if I have to move this much material this far and I need this much pressure, how can I make sure that the pump that I am selecting is actually going to have the right curve and the right power to do what it is that I want to do? So a lot of different ways to start, and you can add the pieces and parts in different ways. However, the biggest point is that the value of the Infor solution is that you have one engine behind the scenes that can push that logic to any part of the need or the solution. And it can do that based on roles. So what you might present out here in the quoting process, you may limit a particular number of options or a particular number of fans that are available standard. And you might, if they want specialty fans, that might be a specific request. But if you're having customer service do this, they have access to everything. They can see virtually every assembly, every option, every selection that you have. So there are a lot of different ways that you can do it, but you don't have to recreate that logic over and over and over to support the different processes that each of these systems need and the specific personas that actually use them.